for December 20th.
Yeah. He motioned.
May we have the roll, please?
Trustee Daney?
Yes, here.
Gansey?
Here.
Gunstein?
Here.
Hopkins?
Here.
LaPorte?
Here.
Sawanski?
Here.
First item we have on the agenda is building and zoning. Chairman Hopkins.
Thank you, Trustee Daney. We have 2 items on our agenda, and the first is Southwinds Business Park Lot 3 re-subdivision. The petitioner is requesting a preliminary and final plat of re-subdivision to re-subdivide Lot 3 in Southwinds Business Park to create 2 lots. Lot 1 will be 2.86 acres, and Lot 2 will be 3.79 acres. Lot 1 of the re-subdivision would be used for a proposed self-storage facility. Lot 2 does not have a proposed end user. The Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed the petitioner's request at their special meeting December 8th, 2022, and recommended approval subject to the conditions in the staff report. With that, does staff have anything to comment?
Thank you, Trustee Hopkins. We do not have anything to add.
Any questions from the board?
I had a number of questions, but Christie answered it for me earlier, so I'm fine with it.
Well, I think we talked about this a few meetings ago, and I guess we'll send this on to the village board for a final vote.
Thank you, trustee.
We have one more item on our agenda, and that's the Southwinds Self-Storage. The petitioner is requesting a site plan review for a proposed 2-story self-storage facility at the southeast corner of Illinois Route 25 and Benchmark Lane in the Southwinds Business Park subdivision. The proposed 104,000 square foot building exceeds the floor ratio of 0.5. The petitioner is requesting a variation to allow the floor area ratio 0.84 for this site. Traffic will circulate around the building clockwise on the one-way drive aisle. Curbed islands are provided at the corners of the buildings to protect vehicles loading and unloading at the drive-in doors and ensures parked vehicles do not obstruct the flow of traffic around the building. The petitioner is also requesting a variation to reduce the perimeter landscaping requirements. The landscaping ordinance requires a minimum of 4 feet wide landscaping area around the perimeter of the building. The landscaping plan identifies 5.5 and 12.5 foot wide landscaping areas at the corners of the buildings only. The Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed the petitioner's request, conducted the public hearing at their special meeting on December 8th, 2022. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the petitioner's request subject to the conditions and findings of facts outlined in the staff report. Does staff have anything to add?
Thank you, Trustee Hopkins. The one thing I wanted to add was that the petitioner, although they are requesting a reduction in the variation around the perimeter landscaping, around the actual building, along Route 25, they did put in additional evergreen shrubs and evergreen trees to help minimize the visual impact from the residents of South Elgin that live across Route 25. They exceed our zoning ordinance requirements for that.
You don't want people from South Elgin here complaining. Does anyone from the committee have any questions?
I don't.
All right.
Well, where's our residential in Bartlett?
So Bartlett's to the east. South Elgin has townhomes that are located to the west, directly across Route 25. So there will be eventually another building constructed on the Lot 2 of the re-subdivision.
So the extra landscaping is, no, can you go back to where you had it before with the map on it? One more.
Or the one with
That one.
the aerial
So where would the extra landscaping be?
is along Route 25.
Okay.
What prompted them to add extra evergreens? Did they just go out to the site and say, we're going to help those people over there and minimize the impact?
We told them that because they're requesting a variation, that it's sometimes a hard sell to our Planning and Zoning Commission. And so if they can make up for it in another way, it helps make it a little bit more palatable.
Any other questions? Then we will send this on to the village board for a final vote.
Thank you, Chairman Hopkins. Next on our agenda is Public Works, Chairman Laporte.
Thank you, Trustee Daney. We're going to talk about water meter replacement program. Our water meters are reaching their end of life. Therefore, we have included a multi-year water meter replacement program in the capital budget. We have been researching and learning about the meters that are available and determined that there are 2 suppliers of water meters that are comparable to each other for the village. Those companies are Badger Meters and Neptune Meters. We did look at others, but we believe these 2 meters are well regarded in the industry and moderately priced. We currently have the Neptune meters. Both meters will have capability of customer interactions so they can monitor their water use and get alarms if water is continuously running. With the meter replacement program, we will also be moving away from drive-by meter reading to a fixed network system that will allow the finance department to read the meters at any time. The fixed network system can communicate via radio reads or cellular communications. Radio reads has a higher upfront cost but lower annual fees, where the cellular has a lower upfront cost but higher annual fees. We received proposals from both suppliers and have attached a summary of costs. The summary of costs shows the difference between the radio versus the cellular looking over a 10-year period. Currently, staff recommends moving forward with Neptune meters for the water meter replacement program. As you can see in the proposals, Neptune is the least cost option, and since we already have Neptune meters, it makes the transition to the new meters seamless without having to run 2 systems at the same time. And Dan, if there's anything I missed or anything you'd want to touch on, please add those comments now.
Thank you, Trustee Laporte. So, as was stated, we currently have Neptune, so we looked at that first, knowing that we've had good success with the current meter, looking at what they have to offer. Then we said, okay, well, we know Neptune, what else is out there? We've talked to Badger, got the information on them. We talked to Census, which is another, I'd say those are probably the top 3 most familiar meters, most common meters. Census, we ended up getting a proposal from them, but they were closer to the 4.6 million, which everything that I've talked to with our neighbors and everything is they're a good meter, but they're also a higher cost meter. So I didn't spend a lot more time on that since it was $500,000 more than these. So we kind of narrowed it down to Badger and Neptune, been talking to them about the systems, the meters, cellular versus fixed network, the radio reads, and ended up getting prices from both of them. It's summarized in that spreadsheet that's got all kinds of numbers. I'd be happy to go through those. You want to put that up, or if anybody has questions on what I have there. When you look at the Neptune versus Badger, one of the benefits, since we already have Neptune, we have meters that we've been replacing every year. We replace meters, so you don't have to throw those away. So we looked at going back, say, 5 years. Why get rid of meters that are only 1 to 5 years old? So that's a savings of about $300,000 that we would not have to replace those meters if we stay with Neptune versus going to Badger. Badger really was a cellular system, which up front, you can see on the meter cost itself is a little bit lower than on the Neptune side, but when you start looking at this, the monthly fee, and you have a monthly fee for every meter in the system, those dollar amounts kind of total up. That's why I gave you the 10-year lookout to see what you're paying in cellular costs. And once you look at that, you can see that when you compare the Neptune 10-year, you're at like 6.3 million, where on the Badger, you're at 7.3 plus. So I thought, I mean, there's the argument, what's the future going to bring, cellular or will the radios be there? I don't know that answer right now. Right now, I know both systems have been successful and have been working for many years. So we're recommending staying with the radio fixed network and staying with Neptune.
How does a resident check their water usage? Is it an app or they log in online?
You'll have a login online where you can see what your water use is for the month, for the day. You can set it up for alerts, like if there were something didn't shut off and you got a 24/7 something leaking, like a toilet, it could send you an alert that, hey, you need to check something. We'll even get those too and be able to contact the residents as well, where we can look at those and get a listing of, okay, which meters didn't stop for the whole night, and be able to contact them or send them an email or text message, whatever, that type of stuff.
Will this help us go paperless with the water bills? Because that's one thing that, I mean, getting the water, I mean, my thing is on auto pay. I don't mind getting an email to say, hey, you're using your 4,000 to 6,000 gallons, depending on how long my kid takes a shower, but, getting it in the mail, it's just kind of like, why? I would rather just get it in my email, and it could be a cost savings. So that's one thing that I really want to go to, and if there is a meter out there that pushes us in that direction, that's where I want to go. And if it's completely isolated, like if it doesn't matter what type of meter we use, then I think we need to go that way regardless. And I know that might be a different discussion, but I think a lot of people would benefit from not getting their water bill in the mail. I know some people like it.
It makes Adam mad.
No, they've seen me mad. This is not mad. But
So I do have a question, and also came to that. How is the cellular or the transmit hooked up? I mean, you're going to have certain homeowners are going to be like, absolutely, I don't want something like that in my house. Are they going to be able to deny us the ability to put this in?
No. Right now, what we'd like to do, there's a separate transmitter that goes with the meter. Right now, what we'd like to do is put that transmitter on the outside of the house, because then it reads a lot better. If we get residents that argue and don't want us putting this little transmitter on the outside, it can go inside the basement. We try to put it up, as high as we can in the basement so that it reads better. But they really won't have an option to not. We have these going in now. The meters that we've been putting in have this technology so that we can continue, because we do it a drive-by read right now.
Right.
So we have it. It's the same type of
The
technology.
second part of my question was going to be, in the new housing subdivisions that are going up, are we going to mandate that they use what we picked tonight?
Yes,
So we don't have to go change those later?
right.
Okay. And what's the time frame to get 13,796 transmitters installed?
We have, we spread it out just because of the cost. We spread it out over 5 years.
Okay.
And that was one of the other factors when we were looking at transitioning. That's a long time to transition, and trying to run 2 systems during that whole time. Staying with Neptune makes it much simpler to just, as you go, you just keep adding on, replacing the meters as you go type thing. But
And does the company that's providing the water meters or selling them to us, do they do the install, or is Public Works doing it?
right now, the number based in our budget in this spreadsheet is based on them installing it. The plan, though, is our crews are going to try to knock out as much as we can. We're not going to be able to do 13,000, so we'll probably get help, but we're also going to look at we've been working with other plumbers on our backflow and that. We're going to get pricing from them as well, just to compare it to water resources, so that we'll have some numbers. That'll be I'm hoping, depending on what the discussion is here, if you guys are good with moving forward, then the next step would be bringing a contract for purchasing the meters and then installation as well.
Adam, there's some old school people that will never do anything online, so have the option to do both, where you could you could pay yours online, but some of the other people, give them the option, they still go to the bank and ask for their balance on their accounts, so.
I think they can opt out, though. You can opt out paperless if you wanted to, and that might be.
You don't like the nostalgia of dropping off your water bill in front of the building
I'm
there?
not saying older, I'm not older generation, I'm just saying, I do a lot of work at banks, and the number of people that come in just to ask for a balance inquiry blows my mind, but, so we gotta look out for everybody.
One question I have is, I don't want to have another committee meeting about this, but I do want to see like the different options for the meters, like something that I could go to online and like look to see what features one water meter has over the other, to see if, I mean, I trust your opinion, I've always trusted your opinion, but I'd just like to look at it kind of firsthand just to see what the different options are.
Go Adam.
Yeah,
Paperless water,
Chris
sewer
pulled
bill.
up our website. We do offer paperless water bills right now. We do email them. It's voluntary. We've sent out notices a few times on the bills.
Was it in the water bill?
Not too many people read their water bill, but
What if we made it, what if you have to opt out, but have to then opt in if you want it?
I think we have a number of people that we don't have their emails. Number one, we don't have their emails to. They've been residents for a long time, and we didn't collect emails. We didn't have emails when they started with us. We've never collected, they've never given us their email. I don't know if everybody has an email.
This is the first I'm hearing of this. This is amazing.
I think this is different than the water meter.
Yeah,
Sounds like it's something we should put in the February newsletter.
Yeah, online.
That's awesome. Thank you. That was quick.
Anything else, Joe?
No, so if there's no other questions, like I said, the recommendation was staff recommends moving forward with Neptune meters for the replacement of the water meter program. As you can see in the proposals, Neptune is the least cost option, and since we already have Neptune meters, it makes the transition to the new meters seamless without having to run two systems at the same time.
I do have another question, I'm sorry. So you made a comment about that you could be notified if your toilet was running or something like that, and so your water's running. This happened to us once while we were on vacation, and the water bill was horrendous when we came back. What can be done about it remote, if anything, with these meters?
Right now, we would not be able to turn them on or off remotely. So we would be able to alert them.
Just a notification. Got it. Okay.
For the record, though, you can go to Menards, or there's places that sell systems where you can pretty much tell how much your toilet flush is, how much your sink is, all that stuff, and you can have that installed by a plumber, and then you can shut it off remotely.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, if not, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
So moved.
So moved. So moved.
Take the roll, please.
Trustee Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
LaPorte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.